Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The program is about to begin. Please join us for a moment of silence to hear, as Jefferson would have, the gong as it strikes the hour of 9.
When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new gods for their future security.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of the colors by the Boy Scouts of America Troop 75, accompanied by the Old Line Fife and Drum Corps. Welcome to Monticello on what is always everyone's favorite day on the mountaintop. I am Gardner Halleck, interim president of the Thomas Jefferson Foundation, and I'm honored to be with you here today. Thank you to Justice John Charles Thomas, honorary trustee of the Thomas Jefferson Foundation, who for decades has opened this ceremony with a powerful recitation of the preamble of the Declaration of Independence. Yeah, let's give him another round of applause. I have to tell you, it is impossible to follow Justice Thomas on the podium, but I'm going to do my best. Thomas Jefferson was only 33 years old when he wrote those immortal words, now among the most famous in the English language. Those were radical words in 1776, not at all self-evident. To declare a nation's existence and a government's legitimacy on the idea of universal human rights was something new. Never before had a nation been born of ideas, rather than by force or common ethnicity. The fundamental principles embedded in the Declaration, liberty, equality, and self-government, are still the basis of our nation's promise and its aspirations. Throughout our history, we've provided a rallying cry for freedom movements within our own country and around the world. Lincoln, FDR, Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., Reagan, all have cited Jefferson as they led us forward. And since 1776, more than 120 nations have quoted or paraphrased Jefferson's words in their own founding documents. But we're reminded that Jefferson's notions of liberty, while visionary for his time, did not extend to all people, not to enslaved African Americans, women, Native people, or men without property. This morning, we honor every individual who has struggled for freedom in this country, especially the hundreds of enslaved men, women, and children who lived and worked here on this soil and made Monticello possible. The vision Jefferson articulated in the Declaration of Independence has moved beyond his time, inspiring each succeeding generation to protect and improve upon America's founding promise. Jefferson knew these ideas had the power to change the world. From the very beginning, ours has been a nation that requires active and ongoing participation from its citizens. And in just a few moments, 56 individuals from 28 countries will take the oath of citizenship, beginning a new chapter in their American story. This is your day, and we are privileged to share it with you at Monticello. On behalf of the trustees and staff, and in cooperation with the U.S. District Court of the Western District of Virginia, I officially welcome everyone to the 61st Annual Monticello Independence Day celebration and naturalization ceremony. And a warm hello to everyone joining us online. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Tobias Dingle, the chair of the Thomas Jefferson Foundation Board of Trustees, to introduce our keynote speaker.
My first duty here, which I'm sure will be appreciated, is please have a seat. Before I get started, I do want to thank Gardner and the extraordinary team of the Thomas Jefferson Foundation and Monticello for putting this event together. This is an iconic event, not just for this region or Virginia, but for the country. It is truly an honor and a pleasure to be here. As always, the trickiest part of organizing this thing is getting the weather right. And we've also learned to do this at 9 a.m., not at noon or in the afternoon. So thank you to the team for extraordinary work in putting this event together. We welcome new citizens from across the world to begin your journey as part of the American story. From the beginning, ours has been a nation that requires active and participation from all citizens. In just a few moments, you'll be taking the oath of American citizenship, beginning a new chapter in your journey of participation in our community and in our country. I personally welcome you as the son of immigrants, a first-generation American. I know what this journey means to you and to your family. We all welcome you with open arms, and I'd like to salute you by offering you a hearty round of applause. Thomas Jefferson believed that education is essential for an empowered, productive, and engaged citizenry. In fact, he wanted to be remembered for three things: author of the Declaration of Independence, the Statute of Virginia for Religious Freedom, and father of the University of Virginia, two of which are so powerfully on display today. Jefferson recognized that the path to equal opportunity and informed citizenry is paved by equal access to education. He proposed a system of broad, free public education in the state of Virginia that was radical in his day, and his founding of the University of Virginia partially achieved that goal. In Jefferson's lifetime and beyond, the reality fell short of his ideals. At the time, the majority of Americans, including Black Americans, both free and enslaved, indigenous people, women, the poor, and many other groups were excluded from full citizenships and thereby access to education. From the earliest days, this equal access was a critical goal of the enslaved and formerly enslaved community. The impact of these endeavors and the legacy of Jefferson's ideas about accessible and equal education can still be seen today as our nation continues to debate how to provide access to equal education for all. This morning, it is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce our keynote speaker, Jim Ryan, the president of the University of Virginia, someone who spent his career following these Jeffersonian ideals of higher education. He is serving as the 9th president of the University of Virginia. He's helped craft and secure approval of a new strategic plan for the university, including securing funding for the new Karsh Institute of Democracy. In the fall of 2018, he announced that students from Virginia families earning less than $80,000 a year would be able to attend tuition free, and those from families earning less than $30,000 would have tuition, room, and board covered. Thank you. An elected member of the American Academy of Arts and Science and a leading expert on law and education, Ryan has written extensively about the ways in which law structures educational opportunity. Before coming to the university to serve as president, Ryan served as the Charles William Eliot Professor and Dean of the Harvard Graduate School of Education. As a first-generation college student, Ryan received an AB in American Studies with distinction from Yale, graduating summa cum laude. He earned his JD from the University of Virginia, which he attended on a full scholarship and from which he graduated first in his class. After law school, Ryan clerked for William Rehnquist, the late Chief Justice of the United States, and spent 15 years serving on the University of Virginia faculty with great distinction. We are honored to have him here today as we unite in celebrating two of Jefferson's great achievements: the signing of the Declaration of Independence in Philadelphia 247 years ago today, and the legacy of educational access and excellence so thoroughly embodied by the University of Virginia. President Ryan.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for that kind introduction. I'm glad you read it just like I wrote it. I want to thank the Thomas Jefferson Foundation Board and Interim President Gardner Halleck for inviting me to speak on this truly special day. I'm delighted to be here to help welcome new citizens from across the world, from Afghanistan to Guatemala to the United Kingdom. Today's ceremony deftly weaves together time and place. What a perfect place to be on the 4th of July here at Monticello, home of Thomas Jefferson, author of the Declaration of Independence, the document that helped launch our nearly 250-year-old experiment in democracy and set forth principles that still inspire and guide us today. And what a perfect time to celebrate new citizens on the same day that we celebrate the dawn of this country, which has always relied on immigrants for its progress. This is the 61st naturalization ceremony to take place here at Monticello. Past speakers have included U.S. presidents, governors, and senators, as well as famous authors and musicians. I am genuinely honored to be a part of this group, but I also feel compelled to apologize to all of you, because among that impressive group of speakers, I can't help but feel that one of these things is not like the other, and I am one of these things, I'm sorry to say. The least I can do is try to say something mildly interesting, and I know of no better way to do that than to talk about stories, which is the theme of my speech. Let me start with the story of Ann Doherty. Like you, she is an immigrant. Like you, she became a United States citizen. She grew up one of 12 children in County Donegal, Ireland, and came to the U.S. when she was in her early 30s, following her brother. She found work in New York City, and there met and fell in love with an Irish bartender. They talked about getting married, but when she became pregnant, he confessed that he was already married and had 3 children. Distraught, she broke off the relationship and went to a home for unwed mothers in New Jersey, where she ultimately decided to place her child for adoption, thinking that he needed both a father and a mother and a better life than she could provide. She stayed with her new son for 9 days in the hospital until the adoption was finalized. She fed him all of his meals. She gave her son an Irish sweater she had knitted, along with the medal of St. Christopher, the patron saint of travelers. She left the hospital brokenhearted. Luckily, she soon met the man who would become her husband. Together, they raised 4 children and went on to have a very happy life, though she always wondered about her first son, literally praying every day that the two would eventually meet in heaven. She never imagined that they would meet sooner than that. I tell you this story and will return to finish it at the end of my remarks because it helps illustrate the power of stories to pull people in, to surprise, to evoke empathy, and perhaps most importantly, to build bridges. As storyteller and listener discover, despite their apparent differences, what they have in common. My first suggestion to all of you, and I will have 3 in total, is to listen to people's stories. Everyone has one, and they are rarely what you would predict. I encourage you to look past labels, whatever they might be, whether president, immigrant, Democrat, Republican, college graduate, lawyer, doctor, plumber, carpenter, truck driver, or Tesla driver. Look past these labels and learn someone's full story. This might sound simple, and in some ways it is, but it's not happening nearly enough. We live in a time of polarization, with people talking past each other and choosing sides without first pausing to learn much about those on the so-called other side. And you rarely read or hear about the full breadth of someone's story in the news, which peddles mainly in tragedy, scandal, and conflict. Social media is no better source, as it's often filled with either dressed-up versions of someone's life or pure nonsense. To learn someone's story, you only need ask, but it's best done directly and in person, and it's amazing what you will learn. Just take all of you here who are about to become new citizens. Without asking, one would never learn about Stephen from South Korea, who struggled at first to get his footing, but soon fell in love with the American people and eventually came to the University of Virginia to pursue an academic career. Or Barry from Ireland, who was the first in his family to graduate from high school. Or Udo from West Virginia, for whom the U.S. was a model of democracy and freedom, a place he longed to visit, and now the place he considers home. Or Runish from India, who came on a temporary work visa but decided to stay because the U.S. offered greater opportunities. Or Noreen, whose mother brought her here from the Philippines because she believed deeply in the American dream. And now Noreen is pursuing her own American dream, preparing for a career in Homeland Security and emergency preparedness as a way to give back to our country. The simple point is that the basic human connections you make through stories are the building blocks not just of your lives, but of this country. Now, the story I told you at the beginning about Anne from County Donegal was not complete, and that relates to my second request. Continue to write your own story. You all have remarkable stories that led you to this point, but your stories are not yet complete. Indeed, you are about to write the next chapter. I'm filled with questions for you, starting with what's next? Will you continue your education? Will you start a new business or change careers? Will you build a family? Will you discover new friends who become like family? Whatever you choose, make it your story and your choice, and never forget that it remains possible in this country to write your own story as generations of new citizens have done before you. Indeed, you have some illustrious fellow authors, as immigrants and new citizens have enriched this country for well over 2 centuries. From Alexander Hamilton to Albert Einstein to Madeleine Albright to Sergey Brin, the co-founder of Google. They wrote their own stories and in so doing touched the lives of millions. Your fellow authors have also included acclaimed musicians, actors, authors, athletes, and architects like Irving Berlin, Gloria Estefan, Selma Hayek, Dikembe Mutombo, Isabel Allende, Dave Matthews, and I.M. Pei. Now, it may be that none of you will play in the NBA or become a famous singer or actor. If it makes you feel better, I won't either. But those who are famous simply did what all of you can do: combine talent and hard work to take advantage of the opportunities in front of you and write the story that you want to be your own. My final request is that you contribute to the unfolding story of this country, which is to say that I hope you will take seriously your responsibilities as new citizens and engage in the civic life of this country. The United States has a story unlike any other country, as it's a nation formed around a core set of principles rather than around a group with a common identity or ancestry. Like generations before you, today you will become an American citizen not because of your bloodlines, but because of your embrace of those principles. Like the principle that all are created equal and have the inalienable right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And the principles that proclaim that we are a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. And that we, the people, are part of a quest to form, as the Constitution says, a more perfect union. That quest continues as America has never been and is not perfect. We as a country, for example, have not always welcomed immigrants with open arms. We the people have mistreated the native peoples of this land and have exploited enslaved laborers, including here at Monticello. We the people across the centuries have both delayed and denied justice for too many. There is not a single neat story that sums up this country any more than there is a single neat story that sums up anyone's life. Most of us as individuals are a shifting collection of accomplishments and disappointments, kindness and callousness, generosity and selfishness, strengths and weaknesses, ideals and pettiness. It shouldn't be surprising that our country has been as well. But as long as we, the people, remain committed to forming a more perfect union, as long as we remain committed to the principles of democracy and the rule of law, as long as we remain committed to each other and engaged in the life of this country, there is reason for great optimism. There is nothing that we the people have done in our worst moments that cannot be fixed by what we the people can do at our best. My request is that you help we the people of whom you are a part be our best. Vote, run for office, volunteer, lend a hand, stay informed. Learn from the stories of those who have sacrificed to provide the opportunities before us today. Help us hear and heed, as Abraham Lincoln said, the better angels of our nature. And all of that begins, as I mentioned earlier, by learning each other's stories, by getting past labels, by looking and listening for what you have in common rather than what you don't. Whether it's your devotion to your children, your parents, or your God, a love of sports or the beach or the mountains, a love of camping or an intense dislike of camping, a favorite movie or TV show. Find a connection, keep an open mind and an open heart, and be prepared to be surprised by what you learn. To close with an example, my current label is university president, and that might lead you to believe that I specialize in delivering boring speeches, which in my case would unfortunately be true. You might also think we have little in common. But what you might not know is that my fuller story is part of Anne Doherty's story, the story of the Irish immigrant I told you about at the beginning of this speech. The son she placed for adoption in the hope that he would have a better life is me. Anne and I finally met just 10 years ago. I searched for her to thank her for the sacrifice she made and to let her know that I was happy with my life. I told her that I was grateful to her and to the parents who raised me and worked hard to ensure that I would have opportunities that they never had. Anne welcomed me into her family and has been one of the most touching surprises in my life. And it has made me appreciate even more the courage, curiosity, hardships, and determination of those immigrants, like all of you, who seek to make a life in this country. As a biological child of an immigrant, I feel connected to these stories, which is to say, I feel connected to your stories. And I hope that in sharing mine, you see even more clearly that you can never guess someone's story just by looking at their labels. So please, look past those labels. Keep writing your own stories and do what you can to contribute to the never-ending story of this great country. Thank you for listening. Congratulations to all of our new citizens and their families, and happy 4th of July to all of you.
Thank you, President Ryan, for welcoming our newest citizens with that inspiring story. I now extend a warm welcome to the Honorable Michael Urbanski, Chief Judge of the United States District Court for the Western District of Virginia, who will preside over the naturalization ceremony. Since 1963, Monticello has been able to host this ceremony because of the generosity of the Chief Judge of the Western District of Virginia and his associates, who travel to be with us on this holiday. Judge Urbanski is joined by the Honorable Christopher Kavanaugh, United States Attorney for the Western District of Virginia, the Honorable Rebecca Connolly, the Honorable Elizabeth K. Dillon, the Honorable Joe Hoppe, and U.S. Marshal Thomas Foster, who will open the court.
Good morning. All rise. The United States Chief Judge Michael F. Urbanski, presiding judge for the United States District Court. Oyez, oyez, oyez. The United States District Court for the Western District of Virginia is now in session and open for the transaction of business. God save these United States and this honorable court. Please be seated and come to order.
Good morning. On behalf of the judges of the United States District Court for the Western District of Virginia, I welcome you to this naturalization court proceeding at Monticello. I'd like to extend a very special welcome to my 3-year-old granddaughter Jane, who got up early in the Mountain Time Zone to view this on live stream. Hi, Janie. It is fitting that these new citizens will be asked to take the oath of citizenship here at Thomas Jefferson's home. The reason I say that is because during his first term in office, President Thomas Jefferson took up the issue of naturalization in his first annual message to Congress, now referred to as the State of the Union Address. A few months later, on April 14th, 1802, Congress passed the first naturalization law, providing that persons qualified to become new citizens take an oath of citizenship before a federal court. And the oath that these folks assembled before me are about to take is the same oath contained in the Naturalization Act of 1802, which has been sworn to by generations of new citizens since that time. So 221 years ago, Thomas Jefferson signed into law the statute authorizing what we're about to do together. And it's appropriate that we do that here. I'd like to ask the United States Attorney for the Western District of Virginia and my friend Chris Kavanaugh to introduce the petitioners and to make an appropriate motion.
Good morning. My name is Chris Kavanaugh. I'm the United States Attorney for the Western District of Virginia. And may it please the court, on behalf of Alejandro Mayorkas, Secretary for the Department of Homeland Security, and Ur Jadu, Director of United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, I am pleased to present to the court 54 applicants for naturalization as citizens of these United States. Your Honor, each of these applicants has been found eligible and qualified to become a citizen pursuant to the laws of the United States, and I am therefore pleased and privileged to move this honorable court to administer the oath of allegiance and renunciation and deliver to them their certificate of naturalization. And may I please now ask the petitioners to stand to receive the oath. Your Honor.
If each of you would raise your right hand, please. And before I do this, I want every one of the other citizens who are here to pay attention to these words because they're meaningful, not only for the new citizens, but for each of us. Raise your right hand. I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and the laws of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by law, and that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by law, and that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations. Let's give a round of applause to our new citizens. Okay, what I would like to do now is to call upon my new friends, Chris Kavanaugh's daughters, Zoe and Quinn, to come up, and if everyone would rise to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job, girls. I'd like to now call upon, everyone be seated, please. Thank you. I'd like to call upon the United States Attorney, Mr. Kavanaugh, to present to call each petitioner by name. And normally, before the pandemic, we used to hand out the certificates. Now we're going to give them to you when the ceremony is over. It also makes it go just a little faster, okay? All right, Mr. Kavanaugh.
Good morning. With each petitioner name being called, as a citizen's name is called, I'd ask that you stand in your seats. Aisha Begum Quadri. Ibtihal Aldil Salman Al-Zwabidi. Cesar Vidal Montirosa. Moses Akasuru Avogo. Reham Al-Jamili. Lilian Gabriela Serna Cartez. Farah Nosh Hamidi. Robert Michael Hitchens. Hasiba Halimi. Siddhartha Subhachandra Angari. Maria Elena Flores de Zometa. Nasreen Binyaz. Mashid Goljamali. Claudia Lorena Stewart. Ane So. Cynthia Michelle Ordonez Padilla. Jungchio Xie. Karen Garcia Salazar. Zia Zamiri. Amin Danish. Florence Danish. Maria del Carmen Zetina Moran. Sharniso Najmedinova Scott. Dolapo Anu Adigbite. Graham Richmond Mack. Lal Bahadur Tamang. Tasha Marie Samborski. Erica Maria Helsing Ridergard. Swifofana Fetale Amama. Ranish Raj Mohakamar Nair. David Stewart Heller. Lorena Lizeth Umantor Dominguez. Rabia Surosh. Kosar Rashidi. Rowena Javier Recto. Elizabeth Mary Addison. Barry Gerard Condron. Fiorella Lorena Olea. Noreen Christy Ronquillo Miano. Janat Gul Muklis. Tariq Aziz Muklis. Nasreen Safi. Udo Ehrenberg. Mohammed Mustafa Suban. Salma Suban. Martin Gottlieb Reynolds. Stephen Sungyup Beck. Tamara Petkovich Zelkovich. Kathy Chunying Wong. Grishma Udit Chavda. Jose Andres Benavides. Saeed Ismail Ibrahimi. And Joseph Sungyup Na. Congratulations. And now I'd like to invite all of you to stand for the singing of the national anthem by the Oratorio Society of Virginia.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Thank you so much to the Oratorio Society of Virginia for that amazing rendition of the national anthem. My fellow citizens, how does that sound? Pretty good? Yeah. All right. All of us here at the court, my colleagues, District Judge Elizabeth Dillon, Bankruptcy Judge Rebecca Connolly, and Magistrate Judge Joel Hoppe, are very proud of you this morning, along with Chris Kavanaugh and U.S. Marshal Tom Foster. I want you to think about something for a minute, because I'm going to talk for about 2 minutes, and then I'm going to call upon you. Because the best part of this program is when we get to hear your stories. So if any of you have anything you want to share, even if it's just a shout out to family and friends, we're going to hear from you. And as you know, Mr. Kavanaugh did a great job in pronouncing all of your names. And if you don't volunteer, I will volunteer you. With your permission, I'd like to tell you a very brief story. A little more than 100 years ago, 2 young men, boys really, saw America for the first time from a ship in New York City Harbor. These 2 boys, traveling alone on different ships, came to America from Eastern Europe through Ellis Island. I often wonder what they thought as they glimpsed Lady Liberty standing proudly in the harbor with her torch of freedom and opportunity held high. I wonder what they thought their futures held in this new land, forged on principles of individual rights, equality, and representative government by and for the people. Each of these 2 boys settled in the coal mining region of eastern Pennsylvania, worked hard as coal miners and farmers, survived World War I and the Great Depression, and raised families. The lives of these 2 men intertwined when their oldest children met, fell in love, and got married. I tell you this story because the children of these newcomers to America were my parents. You see, your story and the stories of your children to come and grandchildren to come is my story. As a nation of immigrants, it is indeed the story of all of us. Today you join a new family, our American family, a family built on principles of hard work, individual freedom, tolerance, and personal responsibility. But I challenge you today to remember that you're not just responsible for yourselves. You now, as new citizens, are responsible to ensure that the ideals set forth in the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the pledge which you just took for the first time as new citizens remain firm and true. So I charge you today with not just taking care of yourselves and your families, but getting involved in your community and helping other citizens continue to keep America on a course consistent with its foundational principles. America remains truly a beacon on a hill, a beacon of freedom, hope, and prosperity. And you now have an important role as citizens in making sure the light of that beacon continues to burn bright. Take an active role in your community, schools, and government, and understand that along with the privilege of citizenship comes the responsibility to protect, preserve, and defend the principles on which our nation is based. That is why each of you have completed your training in American history and government. It is now because you are now part of that history, part of that culture, and as a citizen, part of that government. You see, as a citizen, you no longer can look upon our government as some isolated entity inside the Beltway. As a citizen, our government is made up of all of us, and each of every one of you have a vital role to play in helping to keep the promise of this great nation. Now, enough talking by me. If any of you would like to say anything to your fellow citizens, I welcome your comments and would like to call upon any of you who would like to speak to say a few words as to what you're feeling right now as a new citizen of our great nation. Do we have a microphone? Okay. Oh, right there. Any of you all want to come up before I call Mr. Kavanaugh to call upon some of you? Anyone want to just, it always takes one to break the ice. Come on up, come on up. And I love the fire hat, although you must be very hot. Come on up.
No idea. Okay. Okay, so my name is Noreen, and first of all, I want to thank my family. My family, please stand up. I can't see you. All of you. Okay, yeah. So my parents, thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here today. My sister, thank you for being my best friend. Oh my gosh. And my family in the Philippines who are probably watching right now, thank you. I love you so much. So when I left the Philippines 5 years ago, I had no clue what to do with my life. The first few years especially were very difficult for me. I couldn't find a job that paid me more than $15 an hour. And then COVID-19 happened, and I hated it. I hated how it impacted me and my family and the country and the whole world. So I wanted to do something about it. So I went back to school. I'm now taking my master's in Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness at the Virginia Commonwealth University. And I am also working for the Virginia Department of Health as the Rappahannock Rapidan Health Medical Reserve Corps coordinator. My boss is actually here in the crowd right now. Yeah, she came here with her family. So, Kathy, thank you for your guidance and for your contributions to public health. Thank you. And it took me a while to figure out what to do, but as perfectly said in the Broadway show Hamilton, immigrants, we get the job done. Oh. And one more thing, I am not throwing away my shot.
I love that. Thank you.
Okay, definitely taller. Okay, that's fine. Okay, well, hello. My name is Karen Garcia. So my family, it's over there. I don't see them from here. Hello. They are all citizens. I was the only one left. I had to do the job. Here it is. Here I am. I hope they're proud. I want to say that when I came here, which it was 6 years ago, I did not know English whatsoever. Like, you could say hi to me and I would not know what it was. It was very hard for me to start making friends because I was at the age where I should start college, and I just graduated in Colombia from high school. But here I was too young to be in college, but I was too old to be in high school. It was very weird, and so I had all of my friends making their lives and going to college in my home country, which is Colombia. And I was here stuck, not knowing what to do. And then, you know what? Charlottesville community just gave me so much hope and opportunity. I started in a community college. I started in Piedmont, Virginia Community College, the one here in the front. I am very glad I ended up starting all my career on PDCC. PDCC gave me a lot of opportunities. Not just to me, but also my brother, that he's somewhere over there. After I did community college, I only got one friend. She was from Russia. I think she's here somewhere. And she only knew Russian, and I only knew Spanish, and that's how we learned English. There was no other way we could talk. And we will be best friends with our phones, and I would say something on a Google Translator, and I would be like, does that make sense to you? And it would be like that for hours. That's how I learned it. After PUCC, I decided to join the University of Virginia. President Ryan, I don't know if you remember me, but I saw him earlier. My brother got a scholarship from PUCC. He graduated from UVA as well. And there was a whole party kind of thing where we talked to him, but I don't know if he remembers me. I hope he does. For the hat? He does, the hat. Okay, I want to say that I'm also so thankful to have UVA. UVA opened so many doors for me. It's not just UVA, but it was Charlottesville. It was the town. When I started UVA, that's when I decided that being a volunteer in the fire department would open even more doors. I wanted to talk to more people. I wanted to meet more people, but I also wanted to feel that I was home. When you're older and you decide to move and leave everything back in another country and start pretty much a new life, it's so hard because you don't really, you're just lost, but you lost that feeling of being home, and it's very hard to get it back. And when I started in the fire department, that's when I started feeling that I was here, when I was home. I was not moving anywhere. And now that United States make me a citizen, now I know they say, welcome, Karen, you're home, you're going nowhere else. And I'm not. And I'm very thankful. Thank you.
And I think you have the hottest hat here. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ranish Raj Nair. I go by Ranish. Before I tell about myself, I would actually like to thank all the team here at the Jefferson Foundation Monticello, right from the parking lot to everyone around the podium, and also the USCIS team and everyone to make this so special for us. I know it's a special day when we take the oath, even at a field office somewhere, but at this historical location on this very day, 4th of July, it becomes more and more special for us. So thank you everyone for that. I'm originally from India. I moved here almost a decade back as a consultant for a healthcare group. So we come here on a temporary work visa, as President Ryan mentioned. So, when we come here, we're back home to the family, we'll be back in 6 years. And that's pretty much the plan to start with, but working here gave us more, gave someone like me more opportunities, and that's what moved me here to Charlottesville to work for UVA, and contribute what I got within myself. Coming to Charlottesville makes you really special. People here in Charlottesville welcome you. You are like, even though you are becoming a citizen today, you are still a part of the community here. So that's so special. And down the line, my parents are like, okay, so you're coming back, right? And I'm like, yes. And then one day I just called my dad, said like, I think I'm going to get married to an American citizen here. And back in India, the culture is like we still have arranged marriages and things like that. So he's like, what does that mean? So there were some challenges, to convince them, and all those things. Long story short, I'm married to my lovely wife, Mindy, back there in the crowd. She's in a traditional Indian attire. Maybe you can stand and wave wherever you are. She wore a sari with the USA color today. And 2 beautiful daughters. There she is, yeah. Mira and Ria, poor beautiful daughters in the hot outside there. My in-laws, they drove 10 hours from Indiana for this pretty event to see me. Thank you, Mom and Dad. And last but not the least, my parents, right from India, they came in a 24-hour flight just to see this, and I'm pretty sure they are proud of me. And thank you, everyone. And from today onwards, we get this additional rights, roles, and responsibilities. So I'm looking forward to that and contribute to this country. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. All right. I know it's hot, so I'll make this real quick. My name is Sui Amaama. I come from an island in Samoa. A lot of people kind of wonder, where is Samoa? Hawaii, just go west, and that's where you'll find us, right? So I come by the way of Samoa, moved to California with my parents. Everyone became a citizen. I was the last. We moved to Utah, where I grew up, went to school, and got married. And then my son was a national recruit. He plays football. We ended up here in Charlottesville because he chose Charlottesville. Out of all the places he picked the furthest one away from me. And just like every parent, we pretended like he could make it. And we told ourselves, man, he'll be fine. He's a pioneer. He's doing it out there by himself. About 2 months later, my wife said, we need to go out there and support him. So we came out here to Charlottesville, and this is our new home. Little did I know that the journey to come out this way, following the pioneer in him, I became a citizen in the same process. And like many others, I'm sure there's many that want to speak and probably don't have the courage, but I am blessed. I'm blessed to be a part of this great nation. I'm blessed to add my culture to all those that have gone before me to make it better. Most importantly, I'm grateful to not only my family, my wife, and my 3 sons, but I'm most importantly grateful to our God who made all this possible. And to that, I owe this, and I owe my allegiance to this wonderful nation. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Barry. I'm from Ireland. I want to really thank my family and friends sitting back there. Stand up. They got me here. But mostly what I want to do here is acknowledge these brave people here. Some of these people went through hard things to get here, and they are courageous people, and I acknowledge you for that. And we bring a gift. Many of us have seen hard things outside of here, and we know how good it is here, and we feel welcome here, we like it here, and we bring that gift, how wonderful the U.S. is.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I wish I have my family to say, hey, wait for me, but unfortunately my family is not here. They are in Afghanistan. I'm from Afghanistan. But I have wonderful and lovely friends. I want to just mention their names. Olivia Richardson, she's not here, I think, today, but Macri Kodorovets, she's here. Hi, Mackie, how are you? See, today I'm here. That is my day. Thank you that you're here for me. And also, Lisa, Tiffany, and other friends that they are here. Thank you so much. And also, thank you for everyone. You're here for us today. I want to say thank you so much for everyone. And also, thank you for the team of the Jefferson Foundations and the other distinguished guests and friends. So, I'm from Afghanistan. Almost 6 years ago, I moved to United States, Charlottesville. We start from the zero, me and my family, my wife, my two kids. I have twins. Our hands are full since they're born. We started from zero, but today we reached our American dreams. I know that this journey that takes time to reach today, but I believe this American dream is not finished here. We have that, a bright future with our kids, with other friends that support us. And I'm so happy to say that I'm part of this people, American people. Thank you so much for everyone. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to say a few words. I wasn't going to say anything, but my fellow New Americans compelled me to get up and at least give some thank yous. Firstly, I'd like to thank my mom from Cape Town, South Africa, where I'm from, for letting the reins go a little bit and being totally cool with me coming out here, following my heart and following my dreams. Next, my beautiful wife, Molly. She's standing over there. 10 years ago, I walked into a restaurant in Cape Town, in Kloof Street, one of Cape Town's busiest cities. And I walked in, it was a Tuesday night. I was there with some of my friends for a birthday. And I saw this beautiful, tall, blonde woman. And I turned to my friend and I said, I can't leave here without speaking to her. I spoke to her. Molly, thank you so much for everything that you have done for me, all of your support, all of your love. We have a beautiful child. Her parents, Kathy and Bob, have taken me in and made me one of the family, Charlottesville included. As some of my new friends have said, it is an incredibly inclusive and welcoming community. I am honored and privileged to be able to call myself an American citizen, to bring my own flavor into this beautiful experiment, and to continue to strive for the ideals of the American dream. I believe that it is alive and well, and thank you so much.
Hello, everybody. My name is Udo. I'm from Germany. And when I grew up in the 60s in Germany, it was always a dream come true to once visit the United States. And in the mid-90s, I got the first opportunity to work here in this country on a work visa by my company. And I fall in love. It was really living in New York City at the time. It was really living in Rome in the ancient times. It was really a prosperous city. It was so much fun and joy. People were so friendly from the first day. I didn't feel like a foreigner. I just felt home from the first moment. I met my wife during this stay, and she was willing to give it a try. We did a deer tour and lived for 16 years in Europe, where also our two daughters were born. I would like also to thank my wife and my daughters here for this day today. And then when we moved back in 2016, from the very first day, I felt so much embraced and home by all the people I met here in Charlottesville. They are also friendly. I was not one day actually homesick. And then when I got into the process and realized you can also apply for your citizenship. It didn't really take me a moment to really apply for this. And now I'm here, US citizens. My wife, my girls are US citizens and now have completed that we all are US citizens. And I'm just happy to be here. This is a wonderful day. And I thank everybody here for the ceremony, this wonderful ceremony at Monticello, and also for the warmth, how I was really embraced as a newcomer to this country. And yeah, I feel home from the very first day. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Lorena Yumansor. I'm from Honduras. I want to be so short, but I just want to say thanks to God because He brought me to this beautiful country. I came to this country more than 33 years ago, and then I end up putting my clothes in a trash bag in a little car, like shopping cart. And then finally, I get to this point to be a citizen of this great, great country. And I want to thank my family here, my daughter Jennifer Tejada, my first daughter, Leilani Aragon, Dylan Aragon, and my husband Luis Aragon, who is here today. And may God bless America. And congratulations to everyone. You can do it. Yes, you can do it. I'm so, so proud to be here, so emotional. This morning, I was crying because I was so happy, and I couldn't believe I got to this point of my life. And I am so grateful to this great, great country. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mustafa Sabhan, and I'm from Afghanistan. Today, I'm here very happy, very thrilled, and very proud. I remember almost 7 years ago in September 2016 when I first, with my family, came to the United States. I never dreamed that one day I'll be here celebrating my naturalization ceremony. So for us, for my family and me, it's a dream come true. I would like to take the opportunity to thank each and everyone who was part of this process, including the agency IRC who took our case, processed it, guided us, supported us, and also all the community within Charlottesville. As it was very rightly pointed out by the honorable speaker, that one of the best parts in this country is everybody is taking or focusing on things that are in common. They are not thinking about the differences, and I do appreciate that. So I feel very proud that I'm joining this proud nation, and I would like to carry on this message to my children and kids and the next generation, that it is so, so important that we focus on things that we have in common and leave alone those that we don't have in common and that are different from us. Thank you so much, everybody, for giving us this opportunity and providing the opportunity and providing the ground for us. It's absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much.
Anyone else? What a fitting way to end with those comments expressing our commonality, expressing our true spirit of equality and tolerance, and that is America. Well done. And well done to all of you. I was talking to my colleagues while you were speaking, and I mentioned to them that I've been doing naturalizations for 20 years. I have never had a better crowd. You guys, I've never had more volunteers come up and share your stories. And I know it really is remarkable. What a remarkable group. And it gives me hope for our country to see you and to share our commonality together. I'm so proud of you. This is my last time to preside over this naturalization at Monticello, and as I do that, it's the best part of being Chief Judge of the Western District of Virginia, by far. And I just want to thank my friends here at Monticello, Gardner Halleck, Tasha Stanton, the Chief of Staff, all the folks on the Monticello staff here today you see in the red shirts. Thank them as you exit. And there's a number of other folks, public servants here today who are working. We've got folks from the Immigration and Citizenship Bureau here. We've got folks from the Clerk's Office from the Western District of Virginia. We've got folks from the Marshal Service from the Western District of Virginia. We've got other law enforcement folks from Albemarle County and elsewhere. As you leave and you see these public servants who are working, thank them. They're working today, and thank them for their service. I want to thank you all so very, very much for your patience, and I just have such great hope for our country when I hear those remarks. Y'all are the future, and I'm grateful to be part of a country that welcomes you as part of its future. With that, I probably have forgotten someone, my colleagues. I'd like to call upon United States Marshal Tom Foster to close court. Thank you.
The good news is this part, it goes very quickly. All rise. By the direction of His Honor, the United States District Court stands adjourned for the day. Congratulations to you all.
If any of you new citizens want pictures with Mr. Kavanaugh, who's really photogenic, or you want pictures with some of my colleagues who are way more photogenic than me, please feel free, and we're happy to share this day with you. Thank you. We're adjourned. We're done. We're adjourned. Thank you, Gordon. Go ahead, Gordon.
Please be seated. Thank you to the court, and thank you to Judge Urbanski for the many years of helping with the ceremony. He's been an incredible partner. And thank you to our nation's newest citizens. Your stories are always the best part of the best day at Monticello. It's incredible. And on behalf of the foundation, I once again congratulate our new citizens and their families on this monumental accomplishment. Well done! In 2026, our nation will celebrate its 250th anniversary. Many tensions that shape the American origin story, patriotism and partisanship, tradition and progress, freedom and equality, persist to this day. As we approach the anniversary of the American independence, we ask ourselves, what kind of country do we want to celebrate in 2026? What lessons have we learned? How do we bridge political divides to talk about the values that unite us? Monticello is an ideal place to explore these questions. We invite you to join us as we focus on advancing Jefferson's ideals of progress, civic discourse, and education. We are engaged with partners in the community who share these commitments. You can learn about them in the tent located behind you on the West Lawn. On this holiday, we recognize that as residents, supporters, visitors, and volunteers, you share our sense of ownership and pride in Monticello. You have helped us bring forgotten stories and lost structures back to the mountaintop. Monticello today is the work of many hands, and we look forward to continued work together to deliver on the promise of the Declaration of Independence. As we close, I want to thank a few people and organizations for adding to this ceremony. President James Ryan and the team at the University of Virginia, Judge Urbanski and the Court Party, Steve Lehman of the Charlottesville Band, the Oratorio Society of Virginia, the Old Line Fife and Drum Corps, Boy Scouts of America, Troop 75, the Charlottesville Opera, our American Sign Language interpreter, Diana Case Foster, the Daughters of American Revolution, and of course, thank you to our sponsors for their generous support, the Scripps Independence Day Endowment, Sally and Joe Gladden, the Brent and Lindsay Halsey family, Mickey Tavern, Richard D. and Carolyn W. Jakes Foundation, Charlottesville Albemarle Convention and Visitors Bureau, and the Albemarle County Office of Equity and Inclusion. In the spirit of independence, we encourage all citizens, new and old, to exercise the right to vote. The Albemarle County Registrars and League of Women Voters can help you take the first step at the registration table located in the partner tent at the back of the West Lawn. Today's ceremony will conclude with performances by the Oratorio Society, the Old Line Fife and Drum Corps, and the Charlottesville Band under the leadership of Stephen Lehman. We hope you'll stay and enjoy the complimentary root beer floats provided by the Scoop ice cream truck to your left. The root beer is incredible. Just to the side of the West Lawn. There are also wine tastings from Jefferson Vineyards and children's activities available behind you. If you need further assistance, staff are wearing red shirts with the Monticello logo. They are happy to help. And finally, I want to acknowledge the over 300 Monticello staff and volunteers who never have a holiday on July 4th so that we can celebrate the great birthday of our republic. Let's show them our gratitude. Thank you for coming today and cheering on our newest citizens. Happy Independence Day. Now, please join me in singing America the Beautiful, led by Carly Forte, a talented artist with the Charlottesville Opera. The words are found at the bottom of page 6 of your program.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for pilgrim feet whose stern impassioned stress a thoroughfare for freedom beat across the wilderness. America, America, God mend thine every flaw. Confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in
It's your role now.
Yeah, man. All right, sir.
See you, sir.
Hail Columbia, happy land. Hail ye heroes and born band, who fought and bled in freedom's cause, who fought and bled in freedom's cause. And when the storm of war was gone, enjoyed the peace your valor won. Let independence be our boast, ever mindful what it cost, ever grateful for the prize. Let its altar reach the skies. Firm, united, let us be, running round our liberty. As a band of brothers joined, peace and safety we shall find. Look around, some shores around, peace and safety we have found. Welcome, friends who once were foes. Welcome, friends who once were foes. To all the conquering years have gained a nation's rights, a race unchained. Children of the day newborn, mindful of its glorious morn, let the pledge our fathers signed, heart to heart forever bind. While the stars of heaven shall burn, while the ocean tides return, ever may the circling sun find the many still are one.
Thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you soon. Go drink some water.